The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. One day I traveled to Berlin where the wall was. They tore it down in '89 in the name of love, but to some of us the wall still stands, and to some it never did. The problem lies not in the stones, but in the minds that built it. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. Everyone around the world all feel the same emotions. The children know what Lenin said, that all we need is love. We've glorified the intellect and sacrificed the heart. Let's blow the walls to kingdom come. We all can do our part, yeah. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. Paradise is nothing but a state of mind when there's love in your heart. Unity is waiting just around the bend. Now's the time for us to do our part. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers. The only thing that separates one people from another is the wall inside their heads when they forget we are all brothers.
I wish this virus would go away. I'm in a real-life version of Groundhog Day. I got the blues, quarantine blues. On tour in Chicago that March day, on top of the world, things were going my way. Started hearing about a virus, a tragic ordeal. When I got back to Nashville, it was getting real. All my shows canceled left and right. Things were gonna get worse when no relief inside. I got the blues, quarantine blues. I got the blues, yeah, quarantine blues. I wish that virus would go away. I'm in a real-life version of Groundhog Day. I got the blues, quarantine blues. They started closing up shops, closed the schools, closed down the churches and the honky-tonks too, closed the restaurants, closed the parks, rolling up the sidewalks after dark. The biggest thrills at the grocery store, fighting over toilet paper, and then I said, Ma, I got the blues. Quarantine blues. Yeah, quarantine blues. I wish that virus would go away. I'm in a real life version of Groundhog Day. I got the blues. Quarantine blues. Where your dog can get a bath, but you can't cut your hair, and unless it's essential, you can't go anywhere. You better be sure when you leave your home, they're tracking every move on your cell phone. Never thought I'd live to see this nightmare called a new reality. I got the blues, quarantine blues. I got the blues, yeah, quarantine blues. I wish that virus would go away. I'm in a real life version of Groundhog Day. I got the blues, quarantine blues. I got the blues, yeah, quarantine blues.
Woe to me, I'm undone. Unclean lips and a warrior tongue. When I'm with you, silence best becomes me. But love and flames, and I'm constrained to speak. If my eyes could see the fire that consumes me, to embrace this love and what it does to me, I need to know the unapproachable. I need to hide in arms unconditional. Becomes me, then love and flames, and I'm constrained to speak. If my eyes could see the fire that consumes me, to embrace this love and what it does to me, I need to wanna be undone. I need to know the unapproachable. I need to hide in arms unconditional and lose my life. Find the peace in letting go. I wanna be undone. Undone.
Every day, head down, eyes recognize there ain't no problem. The love can't resolve. Oh, pray every day. Focus on your heart. Do you just come to troubles and confuse away? Time to meditate. Oh, get away, not to pray. Every way I'll pray. Get away, got to pray. Every day. Sit right, close your eyes, feel your breath and rest. There, God can't solve a situation that can't be solved. You get away.
Welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community and we believe that there are many paths to one divinity. If you would like to learn more about our multi-faith endeavor or support us financially, you can do that at www.peopleofdiversity.org. We will have some more announcements after the message, so please stick around. Humility is our topic right now, and last week we had Wiccan Oracle was our speaker, and he shared an amazing talk, as well as music from Daniel Capel. Today is our last installment on humility, and we will hear from our Muslim speaker, Naran Sykes, and Brother Neil McNaughton will give us a couple of videos. Next week begins our new topic, Passion. Swami Shakti Durgaya will be our speaker, and Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer will be our musical accompaniment. So without further ado, let's dive right in, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, people of diversity. My name is Neil McNaughton, and it is a pleasure to return once again as your Songwriter of the Week. This week, the theme is humility, and I've picked two original songs for you. One is one that I wrote quite some time ago. That'll be song number 2. But this first song is a brand new song. It's called Invisible, and you folks will be the first to hear it, so I hope you enjoy. Superhero, they hide themselves in front of your eyes. The humble one conjures an illusion, they turn themselves invisible. 100 times they've walked beside you, 100 times they've held your hand. 100 times they've saved you from falling, and all that time invisible. Heaven or hell does not even occur to them. Neither one matters when you look beyond yourself. Recognition or even acknowledgement is left to be forgotten on a dusty shelf. The humble one builds the bridges between us. The humble one lifts us all above. They help us find our hidden talents and then stand back invisible. 100 times they've walked beside you, 100 times they've held your hand. 100 times they've saved you from falling, and all that time invisible. Heaven or hell doesn't even occur to them. Neither one matters when you look beyond yourself. Recognition or even acknowledgement is left to be forgotten on a dusty shelf. The humble one is a superhero. They hide themselves in front of your eyes. The humble one conjures an illusion. They turn themselves invisible. All right, it's time for the second song. This song is called Into Her Song, and it's about a lot of things. But it's basically about writing a song, the importance of writing a song or writing your truth. It's about sharing that life experience with others, sharing love, the importance of love. It's kind of about women empowerment. And there's a sort of a thread of humility, I think, that runs through it. And maybe the message there is something along the lines of one can live a humble life and yet still sort of make their mark in time. So, into her song. I hope you enjoy. She lay in bed in the middle of the night, pupils opening wide, candlelight. In her hand, she held her notebook tight, and she wrote the words of a song. In the morning, the setting of the moon, she took her words, she gave them a tune. In her heart, she hoped that she would soon share with the world her new song. Share with the world her new song. Every word she chose with care, every sentiment she meant for all to share. She wrote the melody with love. Every word came from her heart, every careful turn of phrase a work of art. She put her soul into her song, into her song, into her song. The late day sun gave the sky a crimson hue. It glowed in her eyes, and the old woman knew. She slept that night, and a few more centuries through, at peace that she wrote out her song. At peace that she wrote out her song. Every word she chose with care, every sentiment she meant for all to share. She wrote the melody with love. Every word came from her heart, every careful turn of phrase a work of art. She put her soul into her song, into her song, into her song. Loss of land, and loss of culture, loss of language and written word, segregation, humiliation, her song can still be heard. For every voice that sang her song, through melody and poetry for all to hear. Generations and translations, she's singing loud and clear. Every word she chose with care, every sentiment she meant for all to share. She wrote the melody with love. Every word came
Assalamu alaikum. May the peace and blessings of God be with you all. First and foremost, our responsibilities in Islam are to perform the 5 pillars. It is the Shahada, or the testimony of faith, praying, fasting, giving charity, and then going to Hajj. So this is how we are going to be, this is what we're going to be asked about on the day of judgment. And the praying is actually our first responsibility, because this is to God. The month of Rajab, which is actually God's month, came in this evening at, I believe, like 3 minutes or 2 minutes to 6, which was at sunset. So I do have to mention that because this is a very important month to us. Our responsibilities are that our good deeds are exponentially rewarded, and our bad deeds are more grave during the month of Rajab, which is actually the month of God. So I'm going to be jumping around a lot tonight. Responsibility of Muslims comes in many forms, and there are a sort of plethora of topics that I can cover. However, I'm going to cover a few of them, and they are going to be responsibility socially, responsibilities of husbands and wives, and I think maybe that's all the time I'm going to have to cover tonight. So, being socially responsible means that people must behave ethically towards their environment, finance, surroundings, and society. Social responsibility includes the connection of the people towards the community in which they dwell. It can also be called as the interest toward the affairs of the society and the active participation and interest to solve the social problems. In our personal life, we might feel the greatest sense of social responsibility to our family and close friends. But it may count, we are responsible. However, our attitudes also have to be good. We don't want to carry out these responsibilities as a burden. Social responsibility in Islam expands to all humanity. Society is the one who teaches us and applies the belief system, value system, as well as methodology, laws of Islam, and also behavior, which I talked about, behavior, attitude, whatever we want to call it. These are taught to us by the Quran and explained to us by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And also his companions. We were taught how to interact and with the community through the companions as well. Social responsibilities held with everyone, and they're different stages. So firstly, to oneself and to his family, to the society where he lives, and finally to the other societies on the earth or at large. We are responsible for what we do in our lives, how we conduct ourselves in public and in our homes, and we can't blame others for our behavior. We strive for purity regardless what we are faced with, of what we are faced with. Therefore, we surround ourselves with people that will not pull us off center. Islam divides responsibilities, and this is a big one. I talked about, I mentioned one of the topics I was going to cover is responsibilities of husbands and wives. So according to their nature that God has made each of them naturally disposed to carry out, spouses share responsibilities, including education, cultural development in the family, and protect each other from harm, and most importantly, a cultivation of love in their marital life. Now, I've got to expound on that because in the Quran, it actually says a husband and wife are a garment for each other. So as a garment, our garments cover our body, our flaws in our body. And this is the metaphor used. So if there's something that I don't want people to know, that I might have some bad habits, my husband should not be disclosing that. That's between he, I, and God, and vice versa. If there's anything that my husband does or says, unless I'm seeking counsel, if I'm going to speak to somebody about this issue, it's our responsibility to seek help, but to cover each other's flaws. And I love that analogy of being a garment to each other, because we know that at 62, I would not want to be going out there without garments, because I'd probably scare everybody. So the clothes that I wear, the garments that I wear, actually protect me. And they also protect you from the elements, from the sun or from the cold. If it's cold, you want to wear a coat. And if it's hot, you want to wear something flimsy and cotton. But as you know, as Muslims, we've got to be covered, our heads and to our ankles. The other thing that I also want to mention about covering the flaws is such an important responsibility of both parties in the marriage, because also a garment, say my husband is kind of cold to me, I would want to go and warm him up. If I'm hot, which means like I'm hot-tempered, he would want to approach me in a cooling manner. And this is the responsibility of a husband to a wife. So Islam, I said this, divides responsibilities between husband and wife according to their nature, that God has made each of them naturally disposed to carry out. We share responsibilities, and we also share in the responsibility of raising our children. That's a very, very important, and to protect each other from harm, and most importantly, a cultivation of love. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, even if one finds the other negligent in their duties, he or she must bring this to the other's attention and guide the other to what is righteous. What I really, really love about Islam is that husbands and wives, it's our responsibility to pray with each other and pray for each other. I thought that was so, so beautiful. Now I'm also going to talk about something that is very important as Muslims. It is incumbent on every Muslim to share the message of Islam. And I do want to preface this with saying, when we share a message of God, it's so that people will be aware of God, not so that they will, we're not trying to coerce them into embracing our religion. The message of God is for everybody. Okay, it is called dawa, or invitation. So the root word is da, and which means to draw someone's attention to something. And in this instance, it is calling people's attention toward God. As far as the Islamic terminology is concerned, dawa, this message, is calling people toward God. And this is why the Prophet is called in the Quran, he's called Da'i il-Allah, which means he called people to God. Yes, one of the responsibilities of the Prophet Muhammad was to convey and deliver the message of God to all people. And therefore, because we follow the teaching of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, it is our responsibility to do the same. Now, all the prophets were called to do the same. All the prophets were called to direct people toward God, to convey the message of God. And so we understand the task of dawah is the message of one of us, all of us has to endure. The central theme of this message that the life or death, not the end, is not the end. So when people are standing before God on the day of judgment, if they say that they met, just say they met me, and I did not share the message of God, as my responsibility inculcates in me, it is a grave sin in Islam. And this is one of the reasons why I love doing these talks, is because I really do not love public speaking, but because I know that as a Muslim, I am supposed to do this. I carry out this task with responsibility, and I sure hope that the message comes across lovingly, with no judgment whatsoever. And if there is anything that I say or do, and I'm so excited we're going to get to meet everybody in person, please forgive me before I even meet you, because that was not my intention. So the message of Islam has to be talked about, and it says this in the Quran, with beautiful speech and eloquent words. And I pray that I carry out this task in that way. And also, and I've mentioned this, is that it is an open invitation. The message of God is an open invitation to all. There is no coercing. Unlike you hear Muslims say that people have to embrace Islam, God would never have set it up that way. So what they're saying is total fabrication, but just a blatant lie. God has given us free choice. And so therefore, it really doesn't even make sense. And as I said, all the prophets were assigned to this duty. One of the things that I also want to mention is Muslims, we are taught to keep our lips moist with the name of God. And so if we are carrying out our duties and responsibilities, a lot of times we will just have gatherings to talk about God and fulfill this responsibility. So we must feel a responsibility to God on the day of reckoning or resurrection. Thus, God the Almighty will hold us to account, and He will hold us to account for the wealth that He gave us and how we used it. Did we obtain it through lawful means like agriculture, industry, trading, and the like, or through unlawful ways like deceiving others, oppression, robbery, and the like? And now I'm going to go on to something a little different. So I have to say this. God the Almighty says in the Quran in chapter 17, verse 70, surely we have honored the children of Adam and carried them on land and sea. So man is distinguished from other beings owing to his wisdom, will, and being a vicegerent. And I know that I've mentioned this before as well. So our responsibility is to return the earth better than we arrived. Yeah. And this is a vicegerent who holds responsibility and deserves such distinction. She is referred to through revelation, and upon whom the word of God, the merciful, is revealed. Our value and respect compared with other creatures indicates great honor and trust bestowed upon us. Such responsibility remarks that our position is raised through giving him or her more importance and esteem. Indeed, humans are not considered neither a neglected being nor a worthless one in life due to his possessing of wisdom, will, and ability. And so when I think of this, I think of how do we respond to our abilities? Responsibility. God has given us abilities, and what do we do with this? Okay. Indeed, a man or woman is considered rather a neglected being nor a worthless one in life due to his possessing of wisdom, will, and ability, and who takes his will and his capability to make a choice and take a decision. Therefore, he is responsible for his deeds and behavior accordingly. Islam fixes two responsibilities upon humans, individual and collective ones. Concerning individual responsibility, we are responsible for ourselves. Thus, God, the Most High, addresses us, saying, "Nay, man is evidence against himself, though he puts forth his excuses." This is in Quran, chapter 75, verse 14. This verse refers to human beings being responsible for our speech, behavior, and deeds, and will be judged by him on the resurrection day and day of justice and punishment. All these are in order to make his or her relation with his or her Lord directly, and also to judge himself before our Lord. We are made to feel these shortcomings and responsibilities. As such, negative attitude should be corrected spontaneously and without any force, lest he or she loses our self-sensibility and feeling of responsibility, which leads us to lose our self-motivation, and self-respect. Later on, it can lead to losing our value as a wise and distinguished person, who then needs force to make him carry out his obligations and avoid what is forbidden. God the Almighty said, "And those who give what they give in alms, while their hearts are full of fear, that to their Lord they must return." And this is referring to, when we give, we don't think of the future. So we're not giving something and thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to survive tomorrow? We're giving it with a heart so that those people that we're giving it to can survive. These hasten to do good things, and they are foremost in attaining them. And we do not lay on any soul a burden except to the extent of its ability. And with us is a book which speaks the truth. And they're talking about the Quran. And they should not be dealt with unjustly. It also says in the Quran that he or she who does not judge him or herself daily is not from us. If one does a good deed, God will increase it, while if he does an evil deed, God will forgive him. And I absolutely love this, because so if we do a good deed, it's going to be increased, and we do a bad deed, we're going to get forgiven. So it's a win-win situation. How can we lose? We as humans should be being, and we as humans should be doing. We should always, always reflect on how we can improve not only our situations, but also the conditions of others. So our Prophet, peace and blessings, every night before he went to sleep, would reflect on his day and see how he could improve. And this we consider a perfect man. So what should I be doing before I go to bed every night? If our Prophet is asking God for guidance of how he can improve, I should be crying out to God to ask how I can improve my situation. Islam wants to bring up the power of conscience in man's soul in precedence of the power of state, and develop the virtue of personal responsibility, to become a guardian to judge oneself and know that one is responsible on the day of reckoning. Everyone is responsible for the property he owns, and from where did he gain it, and how did he use it? Man is also responsible for the knowledge he acquires and the capabilities to which is applied before God, and how they are employed. Did we use them for our own personal benefit or for the general benefit of society? Did we exploit them for corrupt and destructive practices, or for boosting only oneself in his worldly interests? Humans are responsible for their mentality and intelligence which God gave them, and how they are put to use. And if they were misdirected in deviated ways, deceiving others, or corrected in the way of guidance and edification of soul and its reformation. We are also responsible for the strength that God has given us. And what purpose did we use it for? Was it spent in wasteful disobedience and being aggressive? Or was it towards goodness and following the right way? We are also responsible for the power, position, and social rank which God gave us, and whether we misused for suppression, creating terrorism, and seeking predominance to obtain personal gain over others. Or was it constructively put to use for social development in the way of God, the Almighty? Consequently, man or woman will be questioned for the tongue which God gave us and how we used its talents. Did we use it for uttering the word of goodness, reformation, and benefiting social progress? Or did we use it for cheating, backbiting, lying, and insulting others? In Islam, backbiting, as I am sure in other faiths, is a huge sin. Similarly, we will be questioned for the eyes, which God gave us, and what purposes we use them for. Did we use them for reading knowledgeable books and respecting God's greatness? Or did we use them for looking at what God has forbidden and prohibited? We will also be questioned about the gifts of ears. And was this sense of hearing used only for listening to gossip, empty words, indecency, and wasteful entertainment? Or were they directed at hearing the word of guidance, education, and fruitful debates? We are responsible to remind people of the gifts and blessings. It is our responsibility to give people tools to arise out of bad situations. So we will be questioned for every act that we perform in this world. You know, I have a hard time. I want to talk about this, and somehow it might not seem important because we are not an Islamic state. But I do want to mention that because in Saudi Arabia, we know that there's so many injustices going on, and the inequality just based on the ranks of people. Now, in the sight of God, it's a completely different rank. But in Saudi Arabia, there are very, very wealthy people, and there are extremely poor people. And the wealthy people are responsible to take care of the poor people, which is not happening at all. So through carrying our responsibilities based on Islamic laws and values, which organize personal duties to regulate behavior, a society can be established to keep an equilibrium where security, social peace, and economic welfare are preserved. Without these responsibilities, life turns into chaos and anarchy. The role of justice and law disappears, and society becomes a tyrannical one. And this is exactly what has happened in a country that is a so-called Muslim country, which, please, I beg you guys, do not associate Saudi Arabia with being an Islamic country, because if it was, the stuff that's going on there right now would not be happening. I've mentioned that Islam organizes responsibility by making everyone responsible for ourselves and for others. And therefore, a shepherd is responsible for his flock. A father and mother are responsible for their children. And so it's not, something has made me very sad because, you know, the mother, a lot of the times, not all the time, spends more time with the children than the husband does. And I've heard in so many societies that they blame the women for the way the children, if the children didn't turn out wonderfully, they blame the mother, which is really sad. So life cannot be organized without responsibility. The prophet's son-in-law, and it was his cousin as well, his name is Ali, and he was married to the daughter, very, very special daughter, Fatima, Bibi Fatima, of the prophets, of the prophet and his wife, Khadija. He explains that Muslims on one hand are responsible before those who take responsibilities, while on the other hand, they who take responsibilities themselves are also responsible before their leader, which could be any man, who himself is also responsible before God, both for Muslims and for non-Muslims. The example that a Muslim, and this could be a hardship, but often when I used to go, say I was going to the grocery store with my children, I'd have to have a conversation with them before I left, because Muslims were under, and still are under, scrutiny. So we would go into the grocery store, and this would be in rural North Carolina. So a lot of the people had never seen a Muslim or a Muslim woman. And they would look at me in a way, sort of almost like they might be afraid, or they were scowling at me, or they were just so disappointed that in the grocery store they saw somebody that looked like me. And my children did not respond well at all. And so I had to start having a conversation with them and saying to them, you know, we are responsible in the eyes of God after how we treat those people, because it's possibly their ignorance, not in any defamatory way. They just don't know, or they've never seen a Muslim. So, you know, this is a perfect time for us to educate them. And I don't mean by having a conversation with them, just by basically acting like nice human beings. And, you know, it became sort of a mantra that every time we would go out and say, listen here, you guys, this is our responsibility. This is how we've got to act, because, you know, they think Muslims are bad. And so if you guys respond in a negative way, then they're going to say, well, that's, you know, just look at those Muslims. That's the way they act. And no wonder their countries are in such disarray. And I feel like I should not have had to have that conversation. These were young kids. This was a big responsibility that I put on them. And I feel sad that I did that. It was, but I felt like we in the public eye, and there were certain acts that we had to put on, you know, and I pray that they forgive me. So, you know, I want to end by saying, I'm looking so forward to meeting you guys. I think it's going to be in March. And this is the quote that I want to end by. Responsibility is accepting that you are the cause and the solution of the matter. And that quote really, really spoke to me. So I'm going to leave you with that. Something that all of you can reflect on. And I want to thank you guys again. Lovely talking to you and possibly seeing you sooner than later. So good night to you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Neil. Amazing as build. Naran, thank you for always bringing your heart and your passion. We're so grateful you're part of our dance here. Philip Lupo and P&L Theatrical, thank you so much for taking our crazy and making it work. We are very, very grateful. If you want to or have any need for this type of support, see Philip at the website below. Past services are available at People of Diversity Facebook page, Facebook group, and the YouTube channel. And the nice thing about the YouTube channel is that you can search that over the last 5 years by topic or by faith. And that same 5 years is available on Facebook, on both the page and the group, just not as organized and easy to navigate. So, big announcement. We have a new time for the deep dive. Because we've shortened up the beginning of the service, we have a new time of 11:30. That'll be 11:30 until noon. The link is below or in the event. To get notifications, each Sunday on Facebook and YouTube, it's a premiere. So the notifications go out if you are a member of the Facebook group or page, or you have subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if you're not already doing that, do that and you'll get the little ding and then you'll know to come and hang out. Our country this week is Serbia. Please join us in sending peace, love, and happiness to this country. May peace prevail in Serbia. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. Reminder that next week we begin our series on passion. Swami Shakti Durgaya will bring our first talk on passion, and she will be supported and accompanied by Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer. So if you want to, again, check us out at a deeper level or support us financially with a tithe donation or offering, you can do that at www.peopleofdiversity.org. So this is my favorite part of the service, and it's our healing circle. So if you'll bring to your mind's eye anyone in your world who needs love, support, healing, and perhaps the folks that are trying to run the planet and ourselves, and put us all into a circle and send out love and light into that circle. And if we all do that together, we can bring healing to this amazing planet. Have an amazing day, a great week, and we'll see you next time.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power.
one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of